afternoon, everyone. I'm Rita Bennett, VP of Corporate Communications with Great Bear Resources. Today, we're going to be talking to Chris Taylor, our President and CEO, about our VRIFY model that we just released this morning. It is actually can be found on our website at www.greatbearresources.ca or at the VRIFY Technology website. So, Chris, you wanted to walk through the VRIFY model with some of our subscribers and shareholders to just talk a little bit about it and walk everybody through. Do you want to share your screen with us and just kind of jump right into it?
Yeah, for sure, Rita. Yeah, I've got a few questions this morning about how to use it. I guess it's new to a number of people, so I'll just share a screen. And here I am on our website. So I'm going to minimize this little box. Won't be looking at myself or you. But here's the model up on the right side of our home page. And you can click on this little button on the bottom left. That'll expand it over to the entire page. Now, if you're looking at it in this view here, there's a tab that you can pull out on the side. And what this will do is effectively shortcut you to a bunch of preset images that we have on the model. So you can see, for instance, here's on the title page, you can see the highway running through. The power line is indicated in dashed red. You can see the lay of the land all around the Red Lake area. If we click on the next tab here, you'll see that it'll load momentarily. This will depend on the internet connection, obviously. Ours here in the office is pretty good. It'll do a fade in and show you what the geology looks like in 3 dimensions. So that can be rotated around. One of the main host rocks in the LP fault is a felsic volcanic sequence, which we've just left blank in this sense because it has a lot of gold in it. So if you pop up on the next pre-programmed rotation here, you can look at the distribution of gold results to date sitting around inside of there. Now, the model is based on about 400 drill holes. So you can look at that. You can peel off the geology in all these preset images, and you can look at gold distribution. And if you can rotate this around, you see we've selected about just under 7.5 kilometer area along the center of the project to highlight some of these results. So we'll have a look at that in a second. The hinge and limb zones, you can highlight on there. The last 2 tabs on the right, these are going to be details of our in-progress geological and mineralization modeling. I guess the red bodies that you're looking at here are projected mineralization and known mineralization. So areas where we have dense drilling, you know that we have a very good handle on where the zone is there. And then we just project it using structural information from the drilling. Everything is oriented drill core. Project that down along strike. And you can see in areas in the hinge and limb, for instance, where we've hit this down on these huge 400, 500 meter step outs, and it's exactly where it should be. So the model is working. And then of course,
just to note, Chris, I don't know how it works with everybody else's mouse, but I know with mine, I just kind of have a ruly control there, and you can actually zoom in so that if these numbers exactly just like that, so you can zoom in and zoom out in any one of these screens. So if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of the details and the grades and whatnot, you're able to zoom right in and take a look at those. And that applies to every single one of these tabs. So.
And then for a more detailed view, Rita, like you can pop this side screen away and you see there's a button down on the bottom right here. Here you can display any information that you want. So I usually start off when I look at it like this and just black out all the boxes. So we can get rid of all of those, and I'll show you just a great way to sort of look at the project initially. Pop up basically topography, and then pop up the Dixie claim boundaries, rotate out, and you can see the lay of the land on the project area. I really like looking at it like this, and then you can stick up something like zone labels, like there they are there, and that shows you where the different zones on the project are. As we say many, many times, looking at the map here of the project, you can see these are these open pit gravel mining operations on the northeast part of the project going off the project. Here's the power line going through, there's the highway running through there, and you can see most of our zones are sitting in this area. Of course, the LP fault is quite a bit bigger, not underneath a lake or anything like that, so we just like to highlight that. And you can see there's just all the evidence of logging and clear-cut activity that's going on in this image. Pop that off, and I'll show you a couple cool things that I think are quite informative. Well, we'll leave the claim boundaries up, take the zone labels off, and this is quite neat. This is all the drill holes to date. I hope you can see that on the image, but you can see there on the Let's just minimize that. You can see those are the drill hole traces from over 400 drill holes that we've published so far. You can see there's an area of dense drilling in the middle of the project where we're looking at the limb zone, the hinge zone, and the LP fault. You can also see we've chased that LP fault over about 11 kilometers. And one of the key characteristics of Dixie compared to others is effectively this gold distribution. So if you look at the gold distribution, you can see that we've summarized this like quite simply. The blues are between 0.1 and 1 gram per ton gold. So this would be similar to many of the large projects in Canada. You could look at Detour Lake, you could look at Canadian Malarctic, and a lot of it would be coated blue like this. And there'd be some, the yellow coating, which is basically 1 gram to 5 grams. The red is 5 to 10, and the pink coating is more than 10 grams per ton. If we pop that over on its side and look at the project and zoom in, you can see effectively what we're looking at is a bit like a sandwich structure on something like the LP fault. So let's pull that up. And if you look at this across several hundred meters, you get this wide zone of gold mineralization. And in the middle of it, like the filling on a sandwich, you get these sheet-like geometries of higher grade gold. You can see that distributed there. And of course, the conventional Red Lake style zones, the Dixie Limb zone and the hinge zone, and of course, the deeper hits into those zones. This is, for instance, that 510 meter step down that we did the other day. You can see how that comes down below the hinge zone and hits it at depth. You can see the deeper drilling on the limb, and you can see effectively we are absolutely nowhere near completely defining this system, because if you continued these drill holes down, you know that this would continue this big structure. The LP fault would be mineralized to some extreme depth. I don't know what that is yet, but I would imagine kilometers. The other thing, just to highlight quickly there, Rita, like if you were looking at it earlier, this is a point. We have drilled over 400 holes, and if we continue along the LP fault, we've hit that gold mineralization in every hole. So it's quite interesting if we just continue along. The only holes that don't have gold mineralization that we drilled so far, I think there's about 8 of them in total, are holes that were done like this: fences along the long drawn out extensions off the LP where the mineralization is beginning to fade. And when you're out of the LP fault zone, there's no gold in those rocks. So it's that faulting and that structural preparation that's really brought the gold into the system. So we can look at that, and then some ways that we have to really understand the size is some of these legends that we've put in here. And you can see I just have to find the right tab. So this is the 7.3 kilometer long scale bar. This is, if you rotate this vertically, you can see what 500 meters looks like to scale, roughly there, that 500 meter scale bar. We'll pop that off. And then this one's really interesting. So this is 100 meters. And I like this one because, I've worked in an underground gold mine before. In many places in the world, ore chutes in these systems, if you can get 100 meters of strike length, you're doing a really good job. Well, you can see effectively looking at this, it's one continuous mineralized zone, which is kilometers long. And I don't think looking at it, if we look straight down it like this, for instance, looking at it, I think if you put a hole in here, your chances of hitting gold mineralization are virtually 100%, because if you're looking at the sum total of over 200 holes into the LP, you can see areas where we haven't drilled. Well, if you have gold mineralization here and all these adjacent holes, you're very, very likely also going to hit the gold mineralization on these small remaining undrilled gaps.
Yeah, no, you will definitely get goosebumps when we're looking at it like that. I know a lot of people do appreciate you walking through this stuff, but we were really excited to put this out so that subscribers and shareholders could take a look for themselves on all the work that's been done, obviously. We will continuously update this, obviously not, day after day after day, but, with VRIFY, we will update, periodically with the changes that we have and, upcoming drill results and catalysts. So, like Chris said, if you have any questions or any comments about the VRIFY model or any other work that we're doing, please feel free to reach out to us. I do post all these videos on YouTube. If you want to get them first, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or check our site frequently. If you need to get a hold of us, you can get us at info@greatbearresources.ca. I say that about 10 times a day, but I can't get that right today. And the number to reach us is 604-646-8354. Anything else you want to leave everybody with, Chris?
So I think that's good for now, Rita. So enjoy the model, and we'll get back to you with some fresh news in the near future.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.